just amazing to work with, really, really eager to learn and listen and want to grab everything. So that's a really good sign for a young player.
All right, beautiful stuff. Desiree, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Rob. Take care.
Highly appreciated, man. Spelele Celiza standing by at Vuma FM and Dilenko Segui Rise FM just after the top of the hour. Here's the news.
Arrested yesterday with her son Kagisho on charges of corruption and money laundering. Church leader Michael Sandlana and church spokesperson Vusindala appeared in the dock on the same charges. Now, Patlane is accused of accepting bribes of over 2 million rand from Sandlana as part of payment for a judgment in his favor. And finally, the Joburg CBD has received a facelift with the unveiling of a new first-of-its-kind sports complex. Now, the project is spearheaded by former cricket captain and administrator Ali Bach, who is aiming to empower the city's youth and revitalize the inner city. Mawande Mateza reports.
The Field of Dreams project in the inner city aims to provide a safe and secure environment that will enable youngsters who are talented in soccer, basketball and netball to thrive. The initiative is a partnership between Baha, non-profit organization, the Maharishi Invincibility Institute, and Standard Bank, who donated the land on which the facility is built on. Baha says this is his way of repaying South Africa.
This country has been very good to me and to my family. They've given me every opportunity to do what I thought was best for my talent and my family too. So it's payback time, which I want to do, but with a generous heart.
Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with morning fog patches and afternoon thundershowers expected. Joburg drops to an overnight low of 13 degrees, peaking at a high of 26, Pretoria 15 and 29, Vereeniging 13 and 27. Monki Ziko Ko, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Robbie, do they still call you Madruput?
They always, why not?
Bob?
Of course.
Everything.
MSW. Why?
It's multicast, Baba.
You know the story.
Also, it's 4/7. They don't get down.
Everywhere.
I don't know, maybe you are still calling Mr. Madruputu, or maybe that does not exist.
Sure, Robbie.
World Cup, here we come.
Mustn't be MP.
I'm not new. Why you say I'm new?
Ake ngube ngelemsakazi ngesiqinje sakudala. Ngithi nje kuwena, diye msakazi, awusuka madoda, diye msakazi.
They divide the room every single time that they speak. Talking about the one and only Tando Manana. Mike Greenaway is here in red, meaning danger. All right, contact sport officially begins. Gentlemen, good to see you. Welcome back.
Good evening, Rob. You've just made the longest speech ever on radio. I think now you hold the record for that intro. Thank you for welcoming us to your home,
I'm just
to your house,
excited to
and
see
also,
all of you.
Yeah. But hey, we love that. We were giving high fives. I've never heard you, in any form.
Praising
you welcome a guest. No, you're not praising me.
Yeah.
Welcoming your guest in the studio. Never.
Never.
And never again.
The monkey is off our back. We won in Dublin. This Springbok team, like I said, it is the best. Is the best. Chovito.
From dividers, hello, Pa. There's one thing that we must never forget. The Springboks might be dominated by white players.
Rob, first and foremost, Rassie has never been shy from the fact that he has also failed his transformation targets. It's out there. He understands, he knows the value of the team being one. I think what is shown and what is proven is that the opportunity will always be given to players, whether white, black, and what have you. I think we're sitting in a very strong position.
I don't think anyone in this country is asking any questions about colour. If Sia has to fall off the bus, who's going to replace him?
They can't do anything anything wrong, South Africa, as they achieve a series win in India after 25 long years.
South Africa go 2-0 up in this series.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
And it's those final moments that we want to share with you. I know that it is a Wednesday, it is soccer night, but when something like this, as massive as this, happens in India by our current Proteas team, led by Themba Bavuma, Shukri Conrad as the coach, it just means a major celebration, a reflection, so many things. We are a happy studio here. We couldn't wait to get on air. Because of that and so much more, it is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
And just in case you were at work and have no idea what it is that we are talking about here, South Africa completing that memorable 2-0 series sweep against India after the off-spinner Simon Harmer claimed 6 for 37 to bowl the Proteas to a 408-run victory in the second test in Guwahati. So they were chasing that improbable 549 to win. India were well out for 140 in the second session on the final day, with only Ravindra Jadeja, who was on 54, offering any form of resistance, though, with the bat. But listen to this. I mean, Aiden Markram took a record 9 catches in the match for the World Test champions, who won that opening test in Kolkata just inside of 3 days. And it's been a feeling of excitement. It's been a feeling of we've never been here in such a long time. You know what? Actually, let the commentator do his thing.
That's a fairly decent hit, but it's got Marco Johansson written all over it. And that sums up the series for South Africa. They can't do anything wrong, South Africa, as they achieve a series win in India after 25 long years.
The entire time. It was a good hit by Siraj. Take a second to enjoy this. Look at him. His eyes are on the ball. Eyes on the ball. This is right in front of where our commentary team is. In the shadow. Great one-handed catch. It sums up the tour. Marco Jansen has had a fantastic tour. He's made runs. He's taken wickets. He's finished it off with this incredible one-handed catch. South Africa go 2-0 up in this series.
And it's just going to be re-emphasized, though, because as the commentators were saying that this has not happened since the year 2000. And the year 2000, Hansi Cronje was the captain of the Proteas. So put that into perspective and you wonder why this is such a big deal. It's a big deal in many, many ways. Got a couple of voice notes.
Good evening, Bra Rob. Congratulations to the Proteas. Congratulations to Themba Bavuma. Bra Rob, I see Themba Bavuma on all platforms of cricket. His face is everywhere. SA20 teams are going crazy about Themba. I have a small question. SA20 is about to start. Is Themba Bavuma contracted to any team? Because I don't see him on any of the team's information and stuff like that. That's just crazy news, Bra Rob.
It's been crazy news for a very long time about this SA20 and why they don't rope him in. I think there was a big debate about it some time ago. And as a captain and as somebody who keeps on constantly breaking records, maybe they say the format is not right for him. You know, people will always give some form of excuse as to why Themba Bavuma is not being included, which you could always say is a disgrace. I probably agree. But at this stage, I actually don't think Themba should really bother or care. It's not about, pushing people. Because I can go on and on. We'll need a whole show to deal with some of the things that one would want to unpack about just some of the criteria that has to do with this, the SA20. And I say it from the bottom of my heart because we see it happen. We see talent go by. And there are no imperatives as far as that division is concerned because it makes a lot of money. So you make a lot of money, then overlook certain things. Maybe it's not a day for that. It's a day to celebrate with Themba Bavuma, with the Proteas, the likes of Markram, who did crazy things today. And maybe the captain would want to say something.
Coming to India is always a tough prospect. I think, like I said in the post-match interview, I think what makes it sweeter is the fact that we're here on the other side of the result, past or post tours. We know how dark it can be. So, coming here, I would have never thought 2-0 would be the result of the series. But I think it's an incredible achievement for the group of players. Again, we've gone on to edge ourselves in history, and we are creating some memorable moments.
Absolutely making history, Temba Bavuma, and to your team. Guys like spinner Simon Harmer, taking 6 wickets for South Africa. Aiden Markram took a record 9 catches. Think about that. Just the overall contribution from every single member of their team. I'll take your comments. You've been watching, you've followed the feeds, you know what's been going down there. But South Africa, we're living just in an era where, South African national teams are just doing the country proud. And the Proteas have been that. Having the one-on-one with Temba Bavuma, one-on-one with Shukri Conrad here, again, highlighted how important it was to get both of these men back into the fold. Well, maybe the one to coach, 100% has been waiting in the wings for the longest time, overlooked for the longest time. But here we are. And I think it is showing why some of us have put up our hand and said, yeah, put him in and you'll find out what real cricket is all about. But just the squad, man. Big up, guys. Congratulations. We're witnessing history. As I said, a busy show. Let's quickly turn the spotlight to a fixture that has got the whole province buzzing. In fact, it's a showdown that's loaded with history. There's a great deal of ambition, football fire, as some people have dubbed it. Durban is electric, the air kind of thick right now, anticipation. The blue and white of Durban City Football Club standing tall as they prepare to welcome one of the giants of African club football, the mighty Orlando Pirates Football Club. Is it any other game? No, of course not. It's a battle for pride. It's legacy. For the heartbeat of KZN football. It's actually a fixture that has got fans pacing, coaches are plotting, players are dreaming of immortality. And tonight, in the build-up to one of the biggest clashes on the KZN football calendar, we bring you a man who knows exactly what this moment means. The visionary himself at the helm, the strategist shaping the future. And he carries the hopes of so many people. Farouk Adodia. He is the chairman of Durban City. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Rob, to you and all the listeners. It's only a pleasure to talk to everyone.
Are you excited about cricket? Forget about football for 2 seconds. Do you watch the game?
Rob, I was an avid follower of the Proteas. Before I came back into football in 2003, I should travel side by side with Hansi Cronje and them in the team to Pakistan, to Australia, to England. And ever since that whole saga was unfolded about match fixing, I really lost my appetite in traveling with the cricket team, but I do follow the team now.
So that put you off, that whole scandal. And remember, guys, it was still a very young Shamila Batoy who led that commission of inquiry, if you remember well. It put a lot of us off. From cricket, and you're absolutely correct. And how is this irony that on this day, Farouk, the 26th of November, that happened today in India is happening for the very first time since the era of Hansi Cronje?
No, I salute the Proteas, getting this right at the right time. I think where the standings with the ICC on the test games, I think will give us a boost. But I think overall, we need to stand up to world cricket. We've been controlled and bullied by the BCC and other nations. I think it's time now that the performance on the field that gives us the respect of which we fully deserve.
You're talking about match fixing in cricket. Do you think there's match fixing in football?
This hard sport and its challenges have many different patterns. But at that time there was prima facie evidence of what happened at that time. Football, I think it will take us a while to unearth the issues. There was in isolation internationally where players, whether it was Zimbabwe, whether it was other teams, that were also linked to issues. But I think cricket is so easy with spread betting and the kind of betting on the toss and betting on the wides, and there's so much of spread betting involved in cricket.
I mean, since the days of those Operation Dribble and all sorts of things where the referees were called to task, do you think that a great deal has changed positively here, Farouk? And I know that I'm asking you this a very open-ended question, but from what you've observed, do you believe that what we're watching now is a cleaner game and a game that is about what's happening on the field and it's pure and it's honest?
I think it's much improved. Quite correctly, you mentioned that Operation Dribble, etc. At that time, I remember a referee would be in in the other half of the pitch and is giving a decision on the other side. It was so bad. I think there's been a huge improvement, but I'm sure there's still room for an improvement further. I think the reality is that one, you have the issues of the referees, but I think more especially is that I think, we just need to see exactly this infiltration of teams, players, etc. Those would be completely discouraged, Those are the challenges that I've observed. But the reality is that, when you look at us as KZN, leave the country by and large, my challenge is that why a city of Durban fails for so many years to have a powerhouse team that the city can rally behind strongly, get the support of the custodians of the city to support the teams, and we must be seen, like in the province, a developmental team. We just seen that all the time promote youngsters. Fans want to see entertainment. We need to see exactly how the investment can come with a balance of youth and experience, but more especially to get the fan base growing and to get the powerhouses. We can't all the time in KZN be the minnows of football.
No, you certainly cannot be. But one thing I can tell you, with or without the city of Durban, with or without that city supporting you financially and otherwise, you still remain Durban City. You still remain a team that currently sits in 7th place with 19 points. You're currently showing signs of growth. You're currently showing us individual performances against teams and cup games and league games that leave us pretty much in awe. So all I'm saying is you'll have your struggles behind the scenes, but what we're seeing at the forefront is a completely different picture. And if you do continue in this way, especially with a coach that knows how to get you leagues when nobody even writes him into a debate or an argument having to coach Durban City, then that is their problem. You got a big game that's coming up against Orlando Pirates. I mean, I've described it as something major, magical, anticipated. Pirates are riding this crest of the wave. I'm sure you're in front of your TV yesterday. There was no load shedding, thank God. So you watched the entire 90 minutes against Chipper United. Stadium half full. There's a loyalty at Orlando Pirates. There's a belief. They joined top of the table now. I mean, just goal difference separating them and the Mamelodi Sundowns. How important does a game against Pirates mean in today's language?
No, it's huge, undoubtedly. I think for players, for the brand of Durban City, for the people of Durban, I think, one applauds the kind of performances that Pirates are giving. The fact that, when Pirates draw the fans in the midweek at Orlando Stadium, I'm sure exactly it's a challenge for all of us. And the reality is that they are on a winning spree. They stood up well against Sundowns. And I think countrywide the fans will follow. But as a Durban City, we need to live up to the expectation. We know exactly that what's in store. The players don't need motivation for this game, but I think that the technical plan of the coach is quite important. And we'd like to basically give this year a full contest. Fans can enjoy the game and we can push for a result.
All right, talking about pushing for a result for Kadodi, I'm going to ask you to stay on hold. Let's take a quick break and come back. Any questions, guys, please send a very quick voice notes and we'll chat further about this big encounter. Still sitting in the wings is a man you haven't heard from, haven't seen in a very, very long time. I think he walked into the studio, scared a couple of people, said, geez, what a giant.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Whether you own a startup in Sandton or a bakery in Bloemfontein, Standard Bank has the solutions to grow your business. For just R9 per month, our MyMoBiz business account gives you access to free online banking and a team of business experts. Our Simply Blue Pro card machine enables you to accept payments anytime, anywhere. Search Standard Bank MyMoBiz or Simply Blue to amplify the growth of your business today. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Every night the tension builds. Will they take the deal or risk it all? Stay locked to Deal or No Deal. Weeknights at 6:30 p.m. on SABC2. Life-changing prizes are just one choice away. Fortune favors the bold. Will you deal? Brought to you by Lotto Star.
Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Click season is different from any other ho. Oh? Yes, here's why. Mix and match any 3 festive gifts with a purple sticker.
Oh.
And get the lowest one free.
Oh.
With the famous Clicks Purple Sticker promotion. It's oh. Only at Clicks. Feel good, pay less. Deals valid until 24 December or while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Shy round into a world of pure mnandiness. Finely chopped freshness. Juicy, sizzling meatiness. A flavor-filled recipe that always rises to the occasion. You can get it all. Grab a Mega Milli deal for 249 Rand and stand a chance to win your share of 1 million in cash. Winning never tasted this good. Share a moment, anytime, with King Pie.
Another year, another summer, another chance for you to win another set of wheels. Caltex is giving you another chance to win another brand new car. This time, the VW Polo Vivo or Fuel for a Year with U-Count rewards. Fuel up with 500 Rand or more to enter, and who knows, maybe this might be another epic summer. T's and C's apply. Caltex, it's how you get there.
At GWM South Africa, we've been going strong for 18 years, and we want to celebrate you for walking this journey with us. For a limited time only, we are offering up to 20,000 Rand trade assist on selected models within our range. Visit your nearest GWM dealer now. Offer valid while stocks last. Here's to 18 years of more. GWM. Go with more.
Dividing public opinion. The Room Dividers.
They divide the room every single time that they speak. Talking about the one and only Thando Manana. Mike Greenaway is here in red, meaning danger. Thando Manana, we get into the Manana hour, the Manana minute.
I'm always getting the last minute, so I'm used to it by now. I think you and Mike do something before the show, but it's fine. I'll always come later so that I don't see what you guys do behind my back.
I'm going to have to yellow card you again, red card you in the same color that
Rob, I'm not afraid of your judiciary system. Yeah. And I want to start earlier than Mike next week.
Okay.
Yes.
But
let's see how he handles the minute. How he handles the minute.
But you started this week.
Let's see how Mike handles the minute.
But you started this week.
I'm comfortable with the minute. You and Mike are part of a different conspiracy. Thank you.
That's a beautiful
I'm closing.
thing.
Thank you.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, we just have 1 minute to Farouk.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the chairman. Mr. Chair,
we are seeing beautiful football being played by Durban City and the revival of Football Friday. I need to find out from you, Chairman, how did you feel when you saw the news that Fezile Taba has been added into the preliminary Bafana Bafana squad, considering his contribution at Durban City with the club? Thank you so much, Tebogoye.
Tebogo, thank you so much indeed. Hey, question for Farouk Kadodia, who's still with us here for at least another 5 minutes. Farouk, that's a question from Tebogo.
No, we are proud that Kaba we call you to the national team. At the outset, I must stress that he came quite humbly here for trials at the beginning of the season, and this is how we identified his talent. And he's been working very hard. And I think, the pinnacle was the game that he scored a hat-trick against Polokwane City. And I know he's got a lot ahead of him.
All right, so a lot ahead of him. And Tebogo, thank you so much indeed for that particular question, though. Now, as we talk about this game and how important is the game, though, for the development, when you talk about the visibility of football in KwaZulu-Natal, Farouk, I mean, what are you going to be doing differently here? Because, my goodness, the fan base not only just loves Durban and KZN, they would travel from anywhere to go there.
Yeah, look, I mean, undoubtedly, Durban has always been regarded as the city of waves. And, the thing is that I know people from outside use the weekend to spend here, enjoy the match and stay over, whether at the beach or wherever, to enjoy the game. And, the offerings at the city has always been great. And by hosting a match in the nature of Orlando Pirates, and the teams will definitely deliver the kind of appetite which fans want. And, all I'm looking forward to is to create an upset.
Well, an upset is always in the making, especially with the kind of technical team that you do have. What's been your conversations to them, though, Farouk? I mean, is there any area within the team? Is there any area that they are unhappy with, want your support, maybe need an extra player in a certain department?
Yeah, it's always been work in progress. By the time we assemble the team, going forward and looking at the matches, they achieved very well. I mean, the fact that we've been unbeaten at Chatsworth Stadium for the season, and that's remarkably well. We are forced to move these two home games, Pirates and Chiefs, to Moses Mabhida, purely because of security reasons at Chatsworth. And, that's where the coaching staff are upset with me that, our graveyard is at Chatsworth and we should have maintained that.
Do you believe so, though?
Definitely. I mean, look, I think is that the extra magic that the players gives us at Chatsworth, especially, within the last half an hour, that we have that extra adrenaline to turn the game on, And, the result, the stats show that we only drew one game, but every other game we won.
Because the coaching staff now, if you go to Moses and you lose and it favors Orlando Pirates because of the capacity, they'll say, well, Mr. Chairman, you guys at board level, you agreed to this. We have our place where we destroy opposition. Remember, even in the UK, back in those days, Stoke City had a small ground. Man United would go to Stoke City. Chelsea would go to Stoke City. Liverpool would go to Stoke City. Even Moore Park Stadium. Your Chiefs, your Pirates, they would go there. Home ground is home ground.
Yeah, Robert, I don't want to drift from the topic, but the reality is that the stadium in Chatsworth has not been having any improvements ever since it was built. And security concerns there, especially in the night game or the afternoon game, the roads leading to the stadium, the thing is that to host 20,000, it's going to be a challenge there. And, I would love to be playing all of the games there because I'm confident that we'll topple Orlando Pirates in Chatsworth. But again, the players promised me that they'll make a fight of this game.
So that's the part where now the city has to come in because this again is bringing revenue to the city. The big nature of the profile of this game means that the city benefits. So if the city benefits, then they need to make sure that the roads that lead to your stadium is in impeccable condition. If there's a fence that's been pushed over, needs to be repaired, that's part of municipality work that has to be done. So for me, what I can't understand is that What is the problem? Is there anything we can do to intervene? Is there anything we can do to maybe forge this argument forward?
Yeah, I think the important thing is that if I just give you one example, leave all the other problems. You can't expect in today's times, in 2025, for fans to sit on the concrete seat at the stadium. The important thing is that I had in discussions being promoted, and I was promised that there'll be improvements, but all that has collapsed. So I think is that again the potential of the stadium to be full to capacity, at least 20,000 people. It has a full capacity of 22,800. I know at 20,000 we can build our Friday nights, and that's also if the league gives us the continuity on our Friday night fixtures. We can build and revive the Friday night lights in Durban.
Yeah, certainly can. Farouk Kadodia, as always, thank you so much indeed for your insights. Appreciate your time, and look forward to what promises to be a really great game. Thank you very, very much.
My parting words, Robert, to the fans: if you don't have a ticket, get to the nearest Boxer or Pick n Pay store and get your tickets. I firmly believe that before a kickoff, tickets will be sold out.
Beautiful stuff. That's Farouk Kadodia, chairman of Durban City Football Club, joining me live here on #MSW. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide. Some people are taking me back to last night. Chelsea, at some point, they could have scored, 6 goals, Half of them are offside. There was a problem. There was, these days of VAR, things get chalked off. But chalked off or not, the final result stood. And that was so beautiful to see Chelsea in European football, at the pinnacle of it. I'm not talking about Europa League here. I'm talking about Champions League. And they were performing at the level that they did, making Barcelona, I don't know, look like Makarabash FC.
Good evening, Rob, and all the listeners. This is Joel from Wattville in Benoni. Hey, Rob, what a great night of soccer last night. If there is a city in the world that Barcelona players and supporters will never forget, is London. And if there's a team that these people will never forget, is Chelsea. And if there's a color that they will never forget, is blue. Thank you so much for a great show. Sharp.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Nobu here in Ekenhof. Congratulations to the Proteas. Wow, I like this, man. I like this. I also like how the Indians are so focused on what the coach said about the Wade Grovel, other than the actual loss. I like this. I like how they are so crying about that Wade. And I think it came out of respect. He wasn't, I think, disrespecting the Indian team. But look how they turned the Wade into some sort of disrespect from the Proteas squad or something, But yeah, congratulations to the Proteas and Themba Bavuma. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
While talking about the Proteas, in fact, let's take a caller from Kwatema in Springs. Awande.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
You got a beautiful name, man. Welcome.
Rob, this thing, Nyaga Themba, man. For some of us who grew up, like myself, I played cricket at a very young age in the 80s, was actually lucky to be coached by Desmond Haynes, Richie Richardson, and so on and so forth. So, my parents managed to sacrifice near Ekolweni that were very top, things that we enjoyed in those days, in the 80s and 90s, playing cricket. I was the only one playing cricket. All the teams that I played for, I was the only African in those teams. So when I see about Themba doing the things that they're doing, it reminds me of an inquiry which took place a few years ago where people that you had interviewed on the show were giving us nonsense excuses about African, colored, and Indian players not being selected for cricketing reasons. I know you know who I'm talking about.
No, 100%. And at least we saw them today, having the guts to praise Themba publicly in their tweets that they sent out. There's still some who find it very difficult. We call them Proteas legends, but they cannot find it within themselves to actually congratulate Themba in his capacity as the captain of the
Not
Proteas.
only that, Rob.
So
Not
that's
only
a
that,
problem
Rob,
for
but
me.
also apologize for the things that they partook in. You know, that is very important.
They
Which is,
would
look,
never.
for the part that we played, we apologize.
Temba.
You know,
I mean, one thing I can tell you is that they would never do that. They would never. Not over, yes, those bodies, but they would never do that. And it is deeply ingrained. And that's why when Dubisan Sabeza held that particular hearing, the SJN hearings, and those on the back of some of the most horrid stories that the players themselves had brought forward, they would never, trust me.
You know, Rob, I remember it's just a pity, you know. I mean, I played with guys. I went to school with Conrad Yankees. I was the first African in the Eastern Transvaal team for any age group. I think it was 1994, 95.
Yeah.
Then Conrad Yankees then came after me. He went on, obviously, to represent the box. But the things that we endured, you know, you get selected in a team as a batsman, Rob. You are based on your performances. Then you go to the national team, like our PG Bison Week, and then the team coach and the manager puts you at number 11. But you were selected as a batsman, and you outperformed other batsmen of all racial groups. You know, things that we endured, Robert. Yes, my brother.
I wonder.
You know, Kona Nomunye Lapayana, Obewa represent my Proteas, that at age group level referred to me in the K word. You know, there's a lot of things, Robert, but Sambonge Dutemba, we are very happy for him, we are very happy for the team. It just shows, Wuti, when people get along, people perform.
Absolutely. I wonder, in Guatemala, thank you so much indeed. And that should be the basis of it all. You says when people get along, that the performance comes out to play. And we've seen it very beautifully with the rugby. And it continues to roll on. And so it'll be. And that's why people should never give up on these fights. It's a right that we have. We're South Africa. We must celebrate South Africanness in a proper way and not allow... I mean, some of the things that were said about Temba from some of the players that played even with Hansi Cronje in that team. You know, players that were even, they themselves were fingered for wrongdoing. But they say such damning things. And you'd think, where on earth? Where on earth? Where on earth do you find Ronnie Zondi? Maybe that's the question I should be asking. It's on this earth. And that is why I said to him off air that I need a Ronnie Zondi one-on-one pretty soon. But I think the message that he's brought tonight is an important one so that we put it out there and people can be aware of what it is that he's doing. Because we know that many of our former professional players, life after the final whistle has been marked by a great deal of struggle. I mean, despite the experience and their stature, there are too many legends that remain on the margins, unheard, underrepresented, unable to make the social, economic, and political impact that their careers should have prepared them for. And so, he is that voice that comes from within, the executive committee member of the South African Masters and Legends Football Association. And since its first elective conference back in 2013, I mean, he's stood as a beacon of possibility, but challenges do remain. I mean, issues of trust, issues of credibility, unity among some of the former players and the institutions that are meant to serve them. Now, this is not about football past. I mean, it's about reform, it's about representation, the future of the game, when we explore the reasons behind these struggles and consider recommendations for change. And that's why I invite you to be part of the conversation. Share your thoughts, questions, experiences using hashtag MSW. And also help ensure that our legends become true catalysts for development. Ronnie Zondi, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Rob, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, that Barry White voice still remains. I'm happy. That means there's life. Simple question. Why do you continue to be an advocate when at times it's easier to quit and say, you know what, let me just stay at home and watch from a distance?
Rob, football is the only thing we had when we grow up. And it doesn't matter what happened, what we have done, what has happened to us, what upset us, how badly we were treated at some point. There is no way we can walk away from football.
What disappoints you when you look around? When you look around at some of the former players that have no reason to be in the positions that they're in?
It's the amount of challenges that former footballers are going through, and what makes it worse is that everything happens in silence, and we don't talk about the challenge that we're going through. And maybe saying a challenge, maybe that's just an to make it sound like a little bit mild.
I was about to say a light word to make that is heavy light. Going to take a break. I'm going to come back. You got Ronnie until the top of the hour. Maybe one thing, I don't know how many people listen to the 17:30 portion of the show. So one of the individuals that we spoke to, and maybe it speaks to what you're talking about, was Desiree Ellis. So right at the top of that conversation, it broke away to a conversation about her now having to consult a therapist. And she's openly talking about that as a mental health issue. So remember, there was this whole thing about her contract. It dragged on and on and on. And I'm not saying that was the cause of the mental health problems. But here we sit with so many problems around. You got a national team coach that's undergoing a lot negativity, and it shouldn't be that case. And we see her, we embrace her, she smiles, but there's a lot going on deep down inside. So those that didn't listen, I do implore them to, because it was a very open heart-to-heart chat.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Excuse me? I got here first, lady.
We've just crossed over to the level 2 parking lot, where a common Black Friday scene is unfolding.
Wait, are you filming me? Hey, Internet, this auntie is violating my parking rights. How dare! Bye.
Another chaotic reminder to skip the store and stay indoors. The Take A Lot Blue Dot sale is on. Shop Black Friday deals on SA's #1 shopping app. Now until 1 December. Take A Lot. Happy delivered.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
Meadroll brings you 7 days of Black Friday blowout deals. Get whole frozen turkey at a merry price of $79.99 per kg. For your Christmas hamper packs loaded with smoked boneless gammon, pickled beef tongue, and corned beef for a holly jolly $99.99 per kg. And frozen beef oxtail for an absolutely mad $79.99 per kg. What? Valid 26 November to 2 December. T's and C's apply. Meat World, your friendly family butcher.
Forget Black Friday. This year, P&A drops color. 15% off everything. Everything? That's right. 15% off all school and office stationery, educational books, arts and craft supplies, and everything else in store. Save in full color this Black Friday weekend from 28 to 30 November. Let's make Black Friday bright again with 15% off everything at the P&A Color Drop Sale. P&A, color your world. T's and C's apply.
Dividing public opinion. The room dividers.
They divide the room every single time that they speak. Talking about the one and only Tando Manana. Mike Greenaway is here in red, meaning danger.
There's one thing that we must never forget. The Springboks might be dominated by white players.
You mentioned that Rassie is aware that he's off as far as his transformation.
100%.
So him being off the transformation targets, why does that get allowed to happen? Is it because he's winning? And if he's winning, does it mean then that he has got the saving grace then to do as he wishes?
No, we can't use the word saving grace. We're not in church.
No, don't worry.
No, we are not in church.
You need the prayer.
We can't use that. We've got to talk facts. He said himself what he's failed.
#MSW. #MSW.
Oh man, our studio guest tonight, Ronnie Zondi, Executive Committee member of the South African Masters and Legends of Football Association, a former player, a legend in his own right. And I'm sure if you switch on to the YouTube channel, you can see, the face of youth, of longevity, people that don't crack ever. Age sits very well with them. I've asked him to share what the recipe is. He's very reluctant to, but maybe let's change a different recipe here, a recipe to maintain the standards. Players fall away. We see them on social media. They are depicted as drunk, drugged out, useless. Those are some of the words that are like, oh, look at him. He used to be a superstar, but he's just become completely useless. Those are the words that communities say. And sometimes they get happy to use those words because maybe that person played for a team that they didn't like and that person was a superstar. Now they can start pointing fingers at some of the shortcomings that they do have. We still have that, Ronnie, do we not? And I think that's what really perplexes you, worries you, and you want to reach out and say, how then do we make a difference?
No, most definitely. Look, I think for me personally, I'm fortunate to have the family support that I have. I can walk away from all this that I do after my football career, and solely focus on my family, and live my normal life. However, I grew up with them. We went to same schools. We played against each other. Most of them, I look up to them, and it just becomes difficult to just walk away and not do something, because I think a lot of us have something to offer, only if we can put our heads together and find a common understanding.
Let me go back to exactly that, the common understanding. So I'll go back to 2013. I made a mention of that. So the first elective conference happens. The vision then in 2013, has it evolved? And what is it right now, if you summarize it?
Rob, if I summarize it, is that remember when former footballers organization was recognized, it was recognized as Masters. But subsequently to that, there was another organization which was formed. It was called Legends.
Yes.
And SAFA mediated, and then the two groups came together, and then hence the name, Football Masters and Legends. And the understanding was that when we go to the elections in 2013, and then we are one organization. But unfortunately, we came out of that organization divided to date.
So united in name, but divided in many different ideologies.
In many different ideologies. Actually, let me say this: everybody wants to be a leader. Nobody wants to be led. And, an organizing with a constitution that prescribes as to how do we deal with our issues, internal issues as an organizing in terms of elections and mobilizing and all this thing. And unfortunately, the outcome of the elections were never accepted from the other group, especially from the Legion side.
Let's deal with that for a second. You've said something very important. A lot of people don't like to be led. They want to be leaders.
Yeah.
Even if they're not leaders in any way, but maybe because they captained their side, maybe because the clubs that they played for back then, they were the superstars. So what I've seen, and I mingle a lot with the former players, and I ask them the same questions about structures. Why don't you formulate? Why are you always complaining? Why can't you learn from the rugby union people and how they've managed to structure their rugby union, for example, and also their legends that get looked after so very well? When somebody, and I remember because the late U.S. van der West days, it also fell in very difficult health times. But the way society even grouped together, they got together, there was almost like a family love that was shown. They didn't have to go and knock on doors and so on. That love was reciprocal. It came through. People said, we've seen you play. We might not know you. We've never met you personally. But this is a worthy cause that you didn't ask for it yourself. So when people don't want to be led, what then do they believe is the solution? Because then you get disunity, chaos.
You see, the problem is that when you have an attitude that says it's either me or nothing, you forget that it's not only about you.
Yeah.
It's about other people as well who also have made a contribution, the same contribution that we have made. Irrespective of if you were a superstar in the team that you played for, or if you were a captain, you were scoring goals and all this thing. After our football career, we all become equal, and we have to take into cognizance that some of us are not as fortunate as others. And that's where the issue I speak about values. Your values have to be aligned with the reality that you see every day, because what you say and what you do, it will be questioned every day. And as people get to know you better, and then they'll always question you, your motives. What are your motives? I've been around for some time to understand that most of us, we're not into this Masters and Legends organization for the good of others. We are in this organization for the good of ourselves, not for the good of our former teammates, football itself, our community, because we were brought up by somebody. I mean, schooling Kazabo Preza.
100%.
Preza was not earning a lot of money, but he managed to buy us a full set of jerseys, and he will travel all over. I grew up in Midlands, in Soweto, in Midlands. We'll travel all over, and Preza will be providing, and we were happy. But we have forgotten that umuntu ngabanye abantu izandla ziyagezana. We are so much individualistic, and we hate each other with so much passion. And what makes it worse is that we are pretending.
How do we break that?
Rob, I don't know. But I believe that there's only one way to do things. And the only best way that I know how is to do things right. There's no other way.
But when you've been doing right, so remember, some of us have followed your work even I think just close to your retirement and, the campaigns around HIV/AIDS, you were in the forefront of that, the good old days of Soul City when that was still all over our television screens. You were spearheading a lot of those, but a lot of people also didn't want to hear you because they feared the worst for themselves. So when you say you got to do things the right way, then there's a corner of former players that say, he thinks he knows it all.
There's no other way I know how to do things. The only way I know how to do things is to do things the right way. And I'll rather be criticized for what I believe in rather than taking shortcuts. I remember towards my at the end of my football career, I used to tell the youngsters who were coming through because we were running, as we were warm-upping, we were running around the perimeters of the field. I mean, they will cut corners, and I will always remind them that you'll remember these corners that you are cutting. And during the game, when they are tired because they did not accumulate enough stamina, and they will come to me and says, "Hey, Praroni, all right." And I guess again, currently we are suffering the very same consequences because people want to take shortcuts and they want to. I don't know why we're so obsessed about accumulating.
Is this wealth or anything?
Everything has its own time. We played where there was no money and we survived. I don't know what makes us think we cannot survive now when we have played without money. I don't know why do we think like if I have money more than Robert, then I become a better person.
There's something called entitlement. So I'm entitled because I'm a former Pirates player, I'm a former Bushbucks player, I'm a former Dangerous Duckies player. And everybody used to go crazy for me because I was the superstar. So now that I've retired or I've hit hard times, so I am entitled that everybody recognizes me and gives me something. Mark the words, gives me. Not work for it, but gives me something. That's the entitlement that I see. I might be wrong. Please correct me.
Rob, Ron has only had his time. I had my time and I enjoyed myself. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that was given to me, especially by Orlando Pirates, SuperSport, Cape Town Spurs, Mthatha Bucks. We need to take a leap of faith as former footballers. There's a Relebogile currently. We must give him the stage because he deserves it.
And the praise.
And the praise.
Not just the criticizing of him and say, in my time.
No, it's no longer about us. We have done our part. We have played our part. We have made our contribution. We have paved the way for them. They are there now. Let's give them space and then pave another space for them when they retire. That's our responsibility currently. Because they will never play for the rest of their life. At some point, they will have to retire.
Hello, Robert, and good evening to the legend, Mr. Ronizondi. This is Tsepiso Mokwena. I'm actually saddened by what I hear from Mr. Ronizondi because they're doing a lot of good job as well in the communities, and our foundation was one of the beneficiaries of the work that they do. So all I can say is that to the masters and legend of SAFA, keep on keeping on. We appreciate all you do and we see you, and thank you so much.
Appreciate that voice note. I think it's a voice note that gives hope. And because, like we said, today we're just planting the seed. If people think the last time I was chatting to you, they got it wrong. Are there platforms? Is there a place where people can actually say, let's try follow the work you're doing? Are you guys still in old age? You're not into social media, but how can people actually follow, maybe contribute, even if it's not money, but intellectual capacity is a contribution to say, maybe let's steer this way, let's go that way.
Yeah, I think that will be a way to go, because if we bring the issue of money then it will start creating a lot of problems. I think intellectual capacity will assist, because from my own personal observation, I don't think we understand what it takes to run an organization. Because we're limiting it into positions, and it's not about that.
We've seen the players' union also be fingered with a lot, so I don't want to get into that space. Let me not deviate, but I'm just saying that we've dealt with it even on this show, where people who are part of the union fingered the others who are still part of the union and accusing them of saying you're using money, you go to FIFPro conferences, you do X, Y, and Z. But as the executive committee member, South African Masters and Legends Football Association, tongue twister, Ronnie Zond, I thank you so much, my friend. I know that this was a drop in the ocean of a bigger conversation that I'm promising to have with you. But thanks for giving the topic an opening and allowing us to put it out there to the people.
Rob, thank you very much for having me. And I think for me, to see this organization function and serve its purpose, I would have made my own contribution, and maybe I can retire with a very happy heart, knowing that I've made a contribution.
Don't retire anytime soon. Ronnie Zondi, catch you again, guys, tomorrow, Marawa Sports Worldwide, for the Thursday edition, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW.